This is Elvin from Eradikated, and you're listening to The Dan Shan Show.
So I've got Elvin and Erland from Eradikated. Guys, how the hell are you in, southern Sweden, I believe?
Yes, that's correct. We are, I believe both of us just caught a cold. But
I've got a cold. That's why I'm holding a brandy here to keep my throat fresh. Yeah, I was worried it was COVID. Time. Yeah, it just seems to be that thing, I don't know what's going on. But what's the weather like currently in Sweden?
Just got really hot now. September warmth coming in, yeah.
Amazing. We like a bit of that. It's going to get cold, though, soon, surely.
Pretty soon, yeah. Probably, yeah.
Do you guys get lots of snow there where you are? Or is it too south to be snowy?
Too south. Depends. Yeah.
Too south.
Right, well, it depends on the year, I would say.
Really? Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. So some years it's like minus 15 degrees and then it's just like almost a meter of snow. And then other years it's no snow for the entire winter. So
wow.
I think it depends a lot, from year to year.
Cool. Well, let's get the reason you're here. Listen, guys, I've said it off record. I'm absolutely loving your music. It's great to hear what you're creating. When I heard you guys, I was grinning ear to ear and I had to get you on the show. Now, you are set to release your brand new album, Descendants, which is out on the 6th of October. What's the anticipation like building up to this album finally being released to the masses? What's it feeling like? You excited?
So first of all, thanks so much, Dan. That's lovely to hear that you enjoy it. And yes, we are excited. It's been a while in the making. COVID got in the way of this release. And, we're finally here. It's been a long ride. And the reception so far has, been really great. We've played some of the songs live now. And from what we've heard so far, people are liking it. We're really excited to get to play it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to finally get to play the songs. I mean, they've been on the shelf for a long time. They've been ready. We've had the album recorded for 4 years, I think.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah, it's been lying around for a long, long time because we wanted to release it properly, with a label and stuff. So yeah, it's really great to finally. It's like a release of energy.
How frustrating is that, having it there and knowing that, you want to get it out there, you've played it live, people have heard the music, but they want to hear the studio versions. How frustrating is it?
I mean, I think we were initially frustrated and then we kind of got into the kind of the COVID wait that everybody kind of got into. We took a break. We didn't play live for, we had a year or two of, kind of slowing down. Which was nice, but now it's, even nicer to get back on the road and, get to play. And, I think we're all really excited to get to kind of ramp up even more as we go into some touring, this fall.
Sure. So how do you feel you've evolved from your first release as a self-titled EP to now the full album? How do you feel like you're evolving? And I'm sure you've already written the next album by now, if this one's been in the camp for 4 years, right?
We've started. We're not quite there yet, but it's in the making. Yeah.
But how are you evolving? As time's going on, personally, band-wise, musically, how are things changing for you as you're going along?
We're maturing for sure.
How old are you guys?
I'm 22. Elvin's 23 at the moment. We've been going at it for 12 years, almost 10 or 12 years.
Wow.
Under another band name for 10 of the years, 9 or 10 of the years. So, we're definitely maturing, both as individuals and as a band. We played a lot of shows, and the progression's been steady. I mean, we always become more confident on stage, and the dynamic and the energy has increased. Just the dynamic of the band is better in general, I would say.
I see.
And as individuals, we've become more skilled musicians, mostly referring to timing and stuff like that. Because, I mean, instrumentally wise, we were pretty mechanically okay, even in the beginning, but you also need to develop that feel for the music and the dynamic, the group dynamic, so to say.
It's kind of like you're always evolving in what you can do, particularly performing live. Take me, for instance, I'm playing the guitar, I'm singing, I'm trying to get a connection with the audience. I'm jumping around, running around, headbanging, interacting with the other band members. There's lots going on, and it's just, the more you do it and the more, you get to practice and kind of play over and over again, the more like not only confident do you get, but the more kind of you can do at the same time, and kind of like pull off tricks in terms of like not just music wise, but show wise, and
Sure.
and getting that connection with the audience.
Sure. Now, going back to the brand new album, I believe from what I've heard, this album is a concept album. Can you tell me more about the storyline behind this? How did this come about? Whose idea was it, et cetera, et cetera?
I made it into a concept album in terms of lyrics and story, but Ragnar also always had this vision of the album. We wanted something comprehensive. We wanted something with a flow. He wanted it to be, aggressive as hell. I wanted it to make sense and to be about something like, at least slightly meaningful. And it kind of just, turned into the story that it is today, which is really like a, at the surface level, quite basic, like dystopian future, chaos of the, whatever in the future.
Yeah.
But it's also a particular story, right? There are particular characters and forces within the album that kind of evolve as it goes along.
Awesome, because that's a big undertaking to start, your first full album as such. To do a concept album is a brave undertaking. And, an album like that needs to be listened to in its entirety from beginning to end to get the story. And obviously people after that will pick the track out. It's a bit like Mindcrime and all these other great concept albums at the time. How would you like someone to listen to this album, sat down with the sleeve notes, laying on a sofa, playing the vinyl, which you're going to release? How do you envisage someone to listen to this album?
I honestly don't mind however you want to listen to it. And, all the songs are great if you pick them apart as well. But there are some kind of great transitions, both story-wise and music-wise, if you listen to it in one go.
Mm. So how do you guys like to write and record? How did you get this album conceived and executed? I know it's many years ago now, but how do you like to write and record? Do you get together in a room? Do you send files over emails? Are you all close together, as in geography wise?
Yeah, we live we used to live 5 minutes from each other with car. We lived in a 5-minute circle from each other. Like when we recorded the album and stuff. Now some of us has moved 30 minutes away, something like that, but not far. So we usually first of all, Kalle the drummer, he records with Elvin. So they put drums and guitar at the same time, and then without a click, just to create this dynamic feel. Because we think a lot of modern music tends to be stale with a click. It feels stale.
I agree.
So we've done everything without a click, and then when they've put the guitar and the drums, we delete the guitar track, re-record the guitars. So Elvin records his guitars, Ragnar records his guitars, then we record bass, and then we throw solos on top and finish with the lyrics and stuff.
Does it make it harder not playing to the grid, to the click? Does it make it harder for extra instruments to be added later on for the producer or the mixer? Is it harder?
No, not really. I mean, for first of all, Kalle is really tight, and second of all, modern technology is just too good at making this stuff happen. Way too easy,
right? I see.
To be honest.
Now, talking about being in the studio, I can only imagine, right? Is it fun creating these sick riffs? Do you look at each other in the rehearsal room and give each other that stink face, that all-knowing look to each other and say, "That's it"? Or do you? Elvin, do you wake up in the middle of the night with a sick riff? You're I need to get that down in your phone, and you send it to the guys, and they're wow, how does that all come together?
No, we're way too self-critical.
Oh, really?
Ragnar in particular, but really all of us. I think Kalle is the only one who kind of hears something for the first time and kind of enjoys it fully, and kind of can kind of show his enthusiasm about the heaviness of a certain riff or something like that. The rest of us are always going I don't know about this, and then the 10th time you're this is actually quite good.
Yeah.
But we need to change this or this. Yeah. The process is kind of we're not that confident when it comes to writing music, actually.
But you are confident when it comes to, I've read the press releases and stuff, and you seem very, very, very confident about this release. So you must be confident in the tracks that are going to be on this record, and you must be so, balls deep into it.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah.
It's definitely good enough.
Yeah, sure. Erland, what do you think?
Yeah, I always feel like the tracks grow on me, and music in general grows on me. I'm the type of guy who listens to an album 200 times. Like when I commute in the car, I just listen to it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's the same with our music. I didn't really enjoy it that much in the beginning, and then we played it like a bunch of times, and then it grew on me really.
Really?
So I'm more that type of guy,
Right.
I would say, and that's like how our process works as well.
I suppose it's good to be self-critical, because when people like me hear it and you go, "That's pretty shit hot," it makes you realize, shit, we've got something right,
Yeah, but you're not you don't have the power to change anything. So it's good that you just like it.
Yeah, I suppose that's right. That's right. Now let's go back in time, if you don't mind. Obviously, it's not that many years ago. You're so young yourselves, without me criticizing that, but how did you get together as a band? How did you get together? You said you were in a band before. I think you were all in the band before, weren't you? In another band, and did you stop the band and you start again? And some of you are brothers. What was the situation?
So the four of us have played together since 2015. We were called the Generations Army until 2021. And we kind of, after this COVID break, just kind of wanted to start over a bit. But Ragnar, Erland, and me, so everyone except the drummer, have been playing together since 2012. So I was only 12 we were in middle school.
Wow.
And we'd all been playing actually already for a year or two in our respective in different bands, and then we met and started playing together. That's the short version.
Anything else to add?
No, not really. We went to the same school, me, Ragnar, and Elvin, as he said, and then it just kind of fell in place. Ragnar actually started the band, and it had completely different members, and then they left for different reasons. They got tired of playing and stuff, and then he bought me a bass for Christmas present, and then he gave it to me. Yeah, now you're playing bass. Okay, now I play bass.
That's good.
Then I started playing bass in the band, and then shortly after that, Elvin was forced to join the band by Ragnar as well. He's very
I was invited, actually.
Yeah,
forced.
But no,
but one step at a time.
Yeah, you already played in another band, and then you were invited to rehearsals and stuff, and then you gradually your band gradually fell apart, and our band gradually grew. So it just dynamically grew larger, so to say.
So it's pretty obvious to ask what influence you had growing up, but how did you get into metal? Who got you there? Who played you the music at such a young age? Well, how did that all start?
So we were all four of us have been playing in rock bands since we were 10 or 11. And so at that point, all of us had experienced rock in different ways. And I guess we just made this journey together. We were, we played a lot of covers, anything from Ramones to AC/DC to Green Day to, started playing Metallica when we were, 14 or something. So we kind of just made this journey towards heavier and heavier music. It's always I think a lot of it was about me and Ragnar getting more and more mechanical and being interested in, we were always pushing the limits. We weren't a very tight band at this age because we were always playing songs that were harder than our level of where we were at actually. So it took a while to get there because we were always pushing the limits, and that meant listening to kind of more and more advanced stuff.
I understand. So what music do you both like away from metal? What do you like? Anything, or not to say guilty pleasure? Do you like anything else that's not guitar pounding riffs and stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like what? Go on, give me an example.
Yeah, I play the trumpet too.
Wow. Okay.
So I usually play classical or band. What do you call it? Wind band music.
Yeah.
And So that's a big part of my life. And then also I listen a lot to like jazz rock, funk, stuff like that. Like Steely Dan is one of my really big likes, I would say.
Awesome.
Well, I used to like Madness a lot.
Yeah,
I've actually seen them. Fucking great band. Amazing energy. One of the best concerts I've been to.
Wow.
So
what about you, Elvin? What any music?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely enjoy, more like funk, soul. It's mostly rock, actually. Like when I get to choose what to listen to, if not metal, but any spin-offs of different kinds of metal or rock.
I understand.
I might enjoy, depending on the band.
Of course. Now, obviously, Sweden is never shy of producing brilliant music, not only metal, but all sorts of great music. What do you think makes Swedes so good at creating music? What's in the water? What is it?
I don't have a clue. Do you? I don't.
That must be the weather cycles. Everyone's depressed in the winter, and then they get happy in the summer, so they get to release their depression, and then they write music. I don't know.
Wow, well, it's a good example. I can understand that. So we'll take that. So, what's the scene like where you are? Is your area? Is it close with metal? Is the metal community close in Sweden in general, or is it wide and spread? What's it like?
Still learning about what it is. I don't really know. I think there's. Yeah, I mean there are a bunch of places in a lot of cities. There's kind of like there's the bigger cities, and they all have their clubs and and bands and whatnot. But there's actually a bunch of kind of the like mid-sized cities in Sweden that do have a lot of like cultural significance, and we've actually been around to a lot of these like not small but not big cities that have like rock or metal clubs.
Right.
Yeah. The best rock clubs in Sweden are definitely not in the big cities, I would say.
Really? You
get surprised every time you turn up to a mid-sized city, small city, and they just have a great rock venue for no reason at all.
Show-wise, what's happening, to follow up the album? I was going to ask as well, you must have done a lot of those clubs, I suppose, in Sweden and Scandinavia.
No, there's a lot of cities to still go to, but definitely a bunch for sure. And we also did do a bunch of like European tours, or going to Germany or Poland, particularly before the pandemic. We did a bunch of that, actually. Kind of did some self-organized tours, and then got in touch with some of the better venues, and met bands that we liked, and kind of went back. We went back to Poland a bunch of times because the people there were so great. They loved our music, and the venues there were great.
So what's on the agenda now to back this album up? What's happening show wise? Have you got tours planned, or are you talking about it? What's on the calendar?
Yeah, well, at the moment, just after the release, we have the release party in Stockholm, and then we have the release party in Lund. And then just a week after that, we'll go on, I think it's 5 or 6 shows with Soilwork, a Swedish.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, Soilwork. Yeah, of course.
So we're going to play support for them.
Nice.
And after that, I'm not really sure what's planned, but I'm sure that more stuff will pop up.
A nice tour support slot across Europe would be really nice.
Yeah, of course.
Nice, yeah.
For sure. Now, being in a band, what do you prefer, stage or studio? Do you think you're more of a studio band, or are you more of a live band?
Stage, for sure. Much less frustrating. But I am looking forward to our next creative process. I think it will be done quite differently from last, and I think we'll make it fun.
So what's on the band's bucket list? What do you want to achieve? Play a certain continent, festival, venue, tour support with someone? What's on it? What are you going to be doing?
I mean, I don't think we've really have had that much of big goals in terms of that. I think it's more we want to be able to play music at great venues for a living, for instance. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
So the goal is more so to make the hobby of maybe a viable living or something like that,
Yeah.
than playing actual shows. I mean, you can always say like Rock in Rio or I mean, we would definitely like to play a support slot for Metallic at some point. That would be,
I can see that happening. Yeah.
pretty great team up, I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
Make it happen.
Absolutely. Elvin, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, the basic answers are going to be the basic answers, right? I don't know if we have something like more, we wanted a record label. Now we have that. We wanted we wanted to play at, some big festivals. Now we've started playing at some big festivals like Sweden Rock. There are, of course, others to conquer as well.
Yeah, nice. And it's peeling away the layers, isn't it? And just getting there. You got each stage and just tick it off as it goes through.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm actually more excited about this Soilwork tour than a lot of other things, because I think, when you play these kind of mid-sized club venues that, fit 500 people, 800 people, but not more, and they actually sell out or close to sell out, when it's actually crowded in there. Those are some of the greatest shows. They're intense, but, the venues are big enough to have a good sound. We haven't really had a lot of experience with that. We played, the smaller sizes of clubs. So actually, that's really exciting to me.
Cool. Now, a couple of fun questions, right? If you can handle some fun questions, is that good?
We'll try.
Yeah, good. Okay, right. One each, right? So if you could steal credit for any piece of art, song, film, book, etc., what would you claim?
I feel like I was thinking about, like, just the other day, like, this is, something with music, like, this is so brilliant, but you always blank when you get these questions.
I mean, I would almost say like Interstellar, the movie.
Yeah, great film. I watched that again the other night, actually.
That's like the best made science fiction movie ever. I think it's like modern classic, good for the science stuff. I study engineering too, so I find the science part very intriguing.
Are you downloading Starfield on the Xbox? Have you heard about this new game called Starfield?
I haven't actually.
Oh my God, it's been 25 years in the making. They're making this like,
oh wow,
25 years. I mean, I'm no gamer, but my kids are, and it's like these like 1,000 planets that you just go and explore and stuff. They've been making it for 25 years. It's gonna be nuts. I can't. I just want to sit and watch my kids play it. I'm excited about that. Okay, so now I'm going to move on. All right. So if you could have any superpower, what power would it be and why?
This I have thought about before. I mean, it would be either time traveling or teleportation. I feel like teleportation is a slightly boring but very practical answer. There's so much moving around all the time.
Yeah.
If I could just pop over and see my friends in Stockholm or in the US, at any moment, I'd do that. Yeah.
That's a good one. Not thought about that one. Erland, you must have one. You've had time to think.
Yeah. I was also going to say time travel or teleportation, but I think time travel is more useful.
Imagine doing gigs knowing you can just time travel from gig to gig. You'd be playing.
Exactly.
You play Tokyo tomorrow night and then New York the next.
Yeah, and also like if you want to go to Stockholm, you can just rewind time 3 hours and go to Stockholm, and you'll be there. So it's basically teleportation.
It would take the fun out of airports and the travel though, because that's half the fun when you have a beer at the airport, right?
Well, then you can go on your motorbike everywhere, and it won't be a problem with the time.
Yeah.
So
Okay, here's a fun one. Two more fun ones. If you could choose one song to play every time you walked into a room for the rest of your life, what song would you choose and why?
Oh my God.
Elvin's just walked to a party, door opens, and that track plays. What is it? Back in Black.
Is that yours?
No, I just thought about it. You just mentioned AC/DC, and I just imagine like the doors open, the lights going down. That song comes on when you walk in.
That's definitely like a better pick than all the ones that come to my mind, because all the ones that come to my mind would be like fucking annoying after a week.
Imagine walking to the doctors and all of a sudden, like, door opens.
I mean, it's got to be some kind of James Bond theme, right?
That's a good one.
That would be fucking cool.
That's a good one.
James Bond for real.
Okay, what's the most used emoji in your phone?
That's a great question. I kind of stopped using emojis.
No,
recently.
come on.
I just do the like manual smiley.
Oh man, that's really, really old school, like Nokia.
Yeah.
I also tend to use like these dots and dashes kind of smileys.
Wow, it's really old, retro. I like it. What track from your repertoire should I play next? Give me a track each.
So we'll do 2 of our singles, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's
I'll
Flood
pick
for me.
Flood.
Oh, the 2 singles. Okay, got you. Now, what 3 words sum up the band the best?
Energy.
Forensic.
Fast.
Like
I guess
it.
that's fast forensic energy.
Like it. So finally, what's the message to the fans? You know, your moment to speak to them directly. These people probably don't know who you are. This is your flaw.
Buy our album. No.
Fair enough. Out on October the 7th, I'll be playing it. Elvin, any words?
Yeah, if you're a cool, fun person, then you can come to our show and we can hang out after our show. Yeah.
Like it. Awesome. Get in touch on the socials, I suppose. So guys, thanks so much for the chat. Good luck with the release and the shows that follow. You know, the future's bright for you guys, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks,
so
man.
much, Dan.